What if I told you that certain vegetables can be placed into the earth this autumn, left completely untouched through the entire cold season, and when you return in spring, a meal will already be waiting for you? No watering through winter storms, no anxiety about frost damage, no careful monitoring during cold spells. Simply plant them, step away, and come back to harvest. That sounds almost impossible to believe, but stay with me because what I'm about to share will completely reshape everything you thought you understood about cold season growing. Welcome to Primal Life, where we demonstrate that producing your own food doesn't have to drain your savings or consume every free moment you have. If this is your first time here, I'm genuinely thrilled you found this place, because today's content will help you save money, reclaim your time, and let go of all that seasonal worry. And to everyone who keeps coming back, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of what we're building together. Your comments and your garden victories motivate me more than you could ever know. Before we get into these 5 remarkable vegetables, I'd love a small favor from you. If you're looking for practical, budget-conscious growing tips that hold up in the real world, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. You'll genuinely want to be here for every new release, because our entire mission is making gardening straightforward, affordable, and enjoyable for everyone. All right, let's dive in. Now, I already know what's running through your mind. Abandoning plants for an entire winter sounds like it leads straight to failure, right? That assumption is completely wrong. What I'm about to walk you through goes against nearly everything that conventional gardening culture has told us. We've been trained to think that plants demand constant supervision, that winter signals the end of fresh food, and that a productive garden requires relentless work. But here's the reality that almost nobody discusses openly. Certain vegetables are genuinely more resilient than we are. They find frost amusing. They flourish in conditions that would send most of us rushing indoors to wrap our hands around a warm drink. And perhaps the most surprising part is that they actively don't want your involvement during the cold months. Hovering over them, checking on them, interfering with their process can actually reduce what you harvest. Today we're walking through 5 vegetables that work alongside nature rather than fighting against it. These aren't the usual recommendations you find on mainstream gardening websites. These are the overlooked powerhouses that experienced growers quietly reference among themselves, yet somehow never appear in guides written for beginners. By the time we finish today, you'll understand exactly why planting these 5 this fall might be the most intelligent growing decision you make in an entire year. The first vegetable is garlic. Let's open with something that feels familiar, but I want you to set aside what you think you know, because the way we're looking at this today is fundamentally different. Before you assume you've already heard everything worth knowing about garlic, give me a moment. Most people treat it as though it were delicate. They hover over it, fret about it, inspect it repeatedly. But garlic is essentially the most hardened survivor in the entire vegetable kingdom. It craves cold. It requires cold. Those dropping temperatures are precisely what signals the cloves to split apart and form those full, satisfying bulbs you'll be pulling out of the ground come early summer. Here's the approach most guides skip entirely. Plant your cloves between 4 and 6 inches deep in October or early November, depending on your climate. The majority of advice out there says 2 inches, but that shallow depth leaves people anxious all winter long. Go deeper. At 4 to 6 inches, your garlic sits protected, insulated, and completely unbothered. Separate your bulbs carefully. Select the largest and healthiest cloves. Orient them with the pointed end facing upward and space them roughly 6 inches apart. Then comes the step that truly matters. Cover everything with a generous, thick layer of mulch. Aim for 4 to 6 inches of shredded leaves, straw, or wood chips. This accomplishes 2 genuinely important things. First, it stabilizes soil temperature, so your garlic isn't subjected to the stress of constant freeze and thaw cycles. Second, it holds back weeds, so that when spring arrives, your garlic has every advantage without competition stealing its resources. Now step away. Truly walk away. Don't water unless you're dealing with an unusual dry spell. Don't reach down to check on it. Don't lift the mulch out of curiosity. Garlic planted in fall carries thousands of years of evolutionary programming that tells it exactly what to do, entirely without your help. When spring comes, you'll spot green shoots pushing confidently through that mulch layer. And by early summer, you'll be lifting bulbs that required perhaps 10 minutes of your effort in total. The financial return is remarkable. A single bulb from a grocery store can yield 8 to 12 cloves for planting. That's potentially 12 new bulbs the following year. You've effectively converted $3 into $30 or $40 worth of organic garlic. That is the primal life philosophy in action. The second vegetable is walking onions. This one is where things become genuinely fascinating. Walking onions, also known as Egyptian onions or tree onions, are the ultimate plant and forget vegetable. And no, the name isn't an exaggeration. Here's how they function, and it does sound like something borrowed from a fantasy story. These onions grow tall stalks, and rather than producing flowers at the top, they produce dense clusters of small bulbs. Those top bulbs grow heavy, the stalk bends toward the ground, the bulbs make contact with the soil, and they plant themselves. That's exactly why they're called walking onions, because they genuinely move themselves across your growing space year after year without any help from you. Plant them once this fall, and they will continue feeding you indefinitely. That is not an exaggeration. The underground bulbs are edible and taste similar to shallots. The green tops are edible and work just like scallions. And those small bulbs that form above ground are also edible, carrying an intense, concentrated onion flavor. Plant the small top bulblets or root divisions about 4 inches deep, 6 inches apart, in a location where you're comfortable letting them spread over time. They're perennial, meaning they return every single year without being replanted. Through the winter months, they rest completely dormant, invisible, and requiring absolutely nothing from you. The insight that most gardeners miss is this. Walking onions tend to be overlooked because the name sounds unusual or the concept seems complicated. The reality is the exact opposite. They are the most effortless vegetable you can possibly grow. Plant them this fall, let winter pass without a second thought, and next spring you'll have fresh onion flavor available on demand. A quick pause here. If what we're covering today is adding real value to your gardening approach, I'd really appreciate it if you tap the like button. It helps this content reach more growers who are trying to do more with less without the overwhelm. And drop a comment below letting me know which of these vegetables has you most excited to get started. I read every single one, and hearing about your plans honestly makes my day. Your engagement is what keeps this community alive and growing. All right, back to it. The third vegetable is Claytonia. This one will likely surprise you because most people have genuinely never come across it. Claytonia, also called miner's lettuce or winter purslane, is where we step into truly uncommon growing territory. Claytonia is a cold season green that actually improves in flavor after exposure to frost. While your neighbors are spending $5 on a small container of spring mix at the grocery store in the middle of January, you could be stepping outside to harvest fresh, crisp, lightly tangy salad greens, growing directly beneath the snow. Yes, beneath the snow. Here's how it works. Claytonia seeds are extremely fine, almost like powder. In late September or October, scatter them across prepared soil. Barely cover them with a thin dusting of compost or fine soil. Water them in gently, and then leave them completely alone. They'll sprout within 1 to 2 weeks, form low-growing rosettes of rounded, spoon-shaped leaves, and simply persist through the entire winter. The key insight here is this. Most cold season greens bolt or turn unpleasantly bitter when temperatures swing unpredictably. But Claytonia moves through the chaos of winter without any issue. It has no problem with snow cover. Snow actually functions as a protective insulating layer. On mild winter days when the snow pulls back, you can walk outside, gently brush the plants off, and gather handfuls of fresh greens. Then the snow returns, and the plants simply wait for your next visit. You can sow Claytonia in successive rounds every few weeks through fall, and once it becomes established, it will self-seed reliably. It essentially becomes a perennial salad green that costs you only pennies for a seed packet and delivers gourmet-quality produce all winter long. The flavor is gentle and slightly lemony. The texture both succulent and crisp. Add it to salads, layer it on sandwiches, or blend it into a smoothie. This vegetable exists almost entirely below the radar of mainstream gardening conversation. But once you've grown it yourself, you'll be genuinely puzzled by why more people aren't talking about it. It tolerates temperatures as low as 10 degrees Fahrenheit without any protection at all. With a simple row cover or cold frame added, it will continue producing through conditions far harsher than that. The fourth vegetable is multiplier onions, also called potato onions or pregnant onions. These are distinct from walking onions, and they function on an entirely different level of productive efficiency. Here is how multiplier onions work. You plant a single bulb in the fall, and by the following summer, that one bulb has divided underground into somewhere between 5 and 10 new bulbs. It's the equivalent of planting an investment that grows more of itself. Except instead of money, it's onions producing more onions. The process itself is almost absurdly simple. In October or early November, set your multiplier onion bulbs about 2 inches deep and 8 inches apart. Cover them with mulch and walk away for the entire winter. While you're settled in watching television and they've drifted completely from your mind, those onions are underground quietly multiplying. The cold is the very thing that activates the division process. Come spring, green shoots will emerge, and you allow them to grow through into early summer. When the tops begin to lean over and shift to yellow, that's your signal. Dig them up and you'll find a full cluster of bulbs where you placed only one. Keep the largest ones for cooking. Set aside several medium-sized ones for replanting the following fall, and you've built a completely self-sustaining onion system that costs you nothing after your initial investment. The often overlooked quality of multiplier onions is how extraordinarily well they store. We're talking 6 to 9 months in a cool, dry location. So the rhythm looks like this: plant in fall, harvest in summer, eat through fall and winter, and replant from what you saved. It's a closed-loop system that ends the habit of buying onions at the store week after week. And the flavor is genuinely exceptional. Multiplier onions carry more sweetness and complexity. The fifth and final vegetable is fava beans. This is the heavyweight of fall planting. Fava beans, also known as broad beans, are remarkable not only for what they provide at harvest, but for what they do to your soil in the meantime. Fava beans are legumes, which means they carry a true superpower. They draw nitrogen directly from the surrounding air and hold it in small nodules attached to their roots. Nitrogen is fundamental plant nutrition. It's the same element you pay significant money for when purchasing bags of fertilizer. Fava beans manufacture it for free and deposit it into your soil as a gift to whatever crop follows them. So you're not simply growing food, you're actively improving the ground your garden grows in. Plant fava bean seeds from late September through November, depending on your region, pushing them about 2 inches into the soil, 4 inches apart, and watering them in. Then, forget about them entirely. They'll germinate, reach a few inches in height, and then essentially pause for winter, sitting quietly in the soil, fixing nitrogen, developing their root systems, and waiting patiently for spring. When the season shifts and warmth arrives, fava beans respond with explosive growth. By late spring or early summer, you'll have tall, vigorous plants covered in striking white and black flowers, followed by large pods filled with tender, creamy, buttery beans. Fresh fava beans taste nothing like their dried counterparts. They are gentle, lightly sweet, and genuinely delicious. But the knowledge that truly changes how you approach this goes even further. You don't need to harvest every single bean. Eat some, then cut the plants down while they're still green and tender, and incorporate them directly into the soil. This practice is called green manure. and it works like injecting premium compost straight into your garden beds. All that stored nitrogen releases into the soil, and the summer vegetables that follow will grow with a vitality that seems almost unreal. Fava beans also tolerate temperatures as low as 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes them exceptionally tough. They genuinely thrive in cool conditions, and they are one of the very few vegetables capable of germinating in cold soil, which is precisely what makes fall planting so effective for them. So let's bring everything together. 5 vegetables that completely reframe what fall planting can be. Garlic that performs best when you leave it alone. Walking onions that replant themselves. Claytonia that produces beneath snow. Multiplier onions that generate more of themselves underground. And fava beans that nourish both you and the very soil you grow in. The thread connecting all 5 is clear and consistent. These vegetables don't need you standing over them. They are shaped by evolution to endure cold. They are built by nature to thrive. This entire approach runs counter to what the large gardening industry wants you to believe. They want you dependent on their products, constantly purchasing, constantly anxious. But authentic gardening, the kind that has sustained human communities for thousands of years, moves in harmony with natural rhythms. Fall planting is one of the most time-tested patterns. If today's video has offered you a genuinely new way of seeing winter gardening, please subscribe to Primal Life. We are building a community of people who refuse to accept expensive gardening. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video where we break down real, grounded, budget-friendly methods that actually work. And please, leave a comment below. Tell me whether you've grown any of these vegetables before. Tell me which one you're most excited to put in the ground first. Tell me if you think it's completely unreasonable to walk away. I want to hear from you, because that exchange is genuinely what makes this community worth being part of. If this added real value to your day, share it with someone who has been wanting to start. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this journey. And I'll see you in the next video, where we keep making gardening simple, accessible, and genuinely satisfying. Until then, get your hands into the earth and remember this: the best time to plant was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Happy growing, everyone.